4. Okay, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're live. Welcome to the Hangout series. My name is Wisdom. Today, I have a very special guest, and we're having a very special conversation. Today, we're having the president of NANS-Ghana. He'll be giving a statement on the State of the Union after serving for 1 year. It is time for him to to share what he has learned so far, what is the current state of the union, what the union is passing over to the next leadership, and where are we with the progress of the National Association of Nigerian Students in Ghana. It's a very serious conversation. It's a very important conversation, and I am glad to have the privilege to host the president once again on the State of the Union. My name is Wisdom Chapp-Jumbo, and without much ado, I'll be bringing the president on. Please feel free to ask your questions in the comment section. Any question you may have for the national president of NANS-Ghana, please drop it in the comment section. Follow our conversations, and anything you need to know will be made known to you in due time. Please, again, we are open to your questions. Please drop your questions on the comment section, and I'll be taking them one after the other to ask the national president. It's the State of the Union, NANS-Ghana. Let me bring up the president. Mr. President, welcome to the show. We are live now.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes, welcome, President. I am very happy to have you again. You were one of my very first guests on the show some months ago, or some weeks ago rather. And for me, I'm very happy to have you back on. Okay, today we are discussing something very important. Can you hear me, Mr. President?
Yeah, clearly. Can you also hear me?
Yes. Okay, fine. I can hear you. So today we're having a very important conversation, and it is important because as your tenure and your leadership and administration comes to an end, it is very important that we have some of this conversation, and you share with us the current state of the union. We have read your many press releases and your press conference you had yesterday on the issue of transition. I'll go straight to the point in some of my questions because we have about 40 minutes to just wrap up this entire conversation. So, Mr. President, share with us, give us a quick update on transition. I know COVID-19 has disrupted a lot of activities for associations like the NANS-Ghana on the issue of transition. But keep us up to speed now. Where are we with the transition process for NANS-Ghana?
All right. Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me again this afternoon. I think you already made the introduction, and those who know me knows that I'm just Adebayo. So the other long names are just the names given to me by my father. So as a privileged servant of Nigeria in this country, I would say student leader, I've been privileged to lead the union for 12 good months. This time, I started this time last year, and God has brought us thus far. So talking about the transition, you talked about my different press release, and you also mentioned the press conference I had yesterday. All the series of press releases ended with that press conference yesterday. The press conference kind of rounded up everything yesterday. And what did I do yesterday? I announced my decision to stand down as the president of NANS-Ghana, and to allow the next person in command in the executive order, which is my vice president, to continue with the transition team that we all agreed to, we all adopted. Last week Friday, I had a virtual meeting with the entire organs of NANS, the General Assembly, which is represented by the Speaker, the Judicial Council, which is represented by the Chief Justice, and the member union. What do I mean by member union? I'm sure you are versed to what I mean by member union, but for the benefit of some of your viewers, member unions are the campus leaders, the local campus leaders. University of Ghana coordinator, Zenith University coordinator, Northford University coordinator, Methodist University coordinator, all of them joined us virtually. And we proposed, I informed them weeks ago that I would consult, organizations in Ghana, the police force, the institutions, school management as well, student body like NUNGS, like KUSAG, like GAPS, on possibility of holding elections. What mechanism can we use? What this can we that? But at the end of the day, so I gave them the feedback that every place I've consulted shows that it is unreasonable and it is impossible to hold an election at this period because number one, in NANS-Ghana structure, it is delegate election. And if you're talking about 40 schools or 50 schools, 3 delegates per 50 schools, that's delegates alone, that's like 150. The president says none of these public gatherings should be more than 100. And even when you are more than 100, there should be social distancing. What kind of hall, what kind of school hall are we going to use? I mean, that is just number one. Number two is that majority of our people, I wouldn't say majority, but some of our people as well, even including some of the leaders of NANS-Ghana, had already traveled before the lockdown as well, now finding it difficult to come back into the country. Some people might want to contest in the election. Some of them are still locked down in Nigeria. I mean, the entire thing was just not right or just not possible and was not reasonable. So I gave him, so we both met and we all met and right from the Executive Council, we proposed something about, we all agree that it is impossible, and we all agree that we have been elected to lead. And this is time of crisis, and we have to still lead. And comments from different some of these leaders is that you guys should just continue. Please, you guys have to continue. I got comment from several institutions. All we just want is for us to continue. In fact, the meeting I had about 6 weeks ago, I would say, their suggestion was that we should just continue. But as leaders, especially in the Executive Council, we agree that it's not just about continuing. Continue what? The Constitution did not ask us to continue. The Constitution says you lead, and after 12 months, you organize election and hand over. But in this case, we think of, because the Constitution does not see COVID-19 coming. So therefore, it's our job with common sense to sit down and sort out mechanisms to be able to navigate through these challenges. And well, okay, the best thing for us to propose and to embrace is the transition, transition system. So we all agreed, which is Executive Council, General Assembly, Judicial Council, to dissolve the entire structure. Dissolve the entire structure in the lay terms means that we should all agree that our tenure ends as the Constitution has stated. So we flatten the entire curve to now constitute what we call transition team. And transition team will be led by the head of the Executive Council, which is the president, the head of the General Assembly, the head of the Judicial Council, which is the Chief Justice, and the head of the General Assembly. So the president, which is the head of the Executive Council, becomes the chairman or acting president, the chairman of the committee or acting president. So the Chief Justice of the Judicial Council becomes the secretary of the committee, and the General Assembly Speaker becomes the publicity secretary of the committee, as it was released in that statement that was just published a few minutes ago. So that is, and all of them have the resolution. It was signed to all of the union members, and we gave them a document to sign that they are part of it and they agreed to it, and a lot of them signed it. In fact, anonymously. I don't want to use wrong English of anonymous or anonymous. Everybody uniformly
interesting, Mr. President. Interesting. For me,
it was signed and sent back.
Okay, so for me, I am very happy that for once NANS-Ghana and its members could make a decision such as this. It speaks volume. In those days, I know this would have ended with so much struggle. But like you said, nobody saw COVID-19 coming. But I want to ask, help me, if my memory fails me. Does the NANS-Ghana Constitution explicitly gives room for this kind of transition committee?
Yeah. Yeah, it explicitly stated that there can be transition committee in cases whereby elections cannot hold, and the
Okay.
decision and uh, what it entailed in the transition committee is determined by the current leadership of the union, which is the structures of the union, the organs. I
Okay.
mean, the executive, the judicial council, the general assembly,
Okay.
and the member union. So it says the
Okay.
stakeholders. Those are the stakeholders of the union. Yeah.
All right. Interesting.
So in a case
Interesting.
whereby there cannot be
Mm.
for election, you go for transition. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So
In fact, this is not the first time we're having transition.
yeah, I remember
Can you hear
in
me?
2013 there was a
Can you hear me?
transition. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, there was a transition. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
in
was led
20
by now
Zinami.
barrister Zinami. So
Yes, Esquire.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay, but I also want to ask you, President. Because nobody saw COVID coming, you also would not be
yes,
out of place if you remained in office, and until when a proper election could be held. Did the member or the general assembly explore that option to allow you and your executive council continue to run to be in office until when COVID goes away?
yes, yes. In fact, that was the result of the meeting we had a few weeks ago, and the member union still kept the same opinion that the executive council should continue. The opinion is that we've been doing a good job, so why don't you continue? But as I said in that press release, in as much as anybody was trying to find a compromise to be able to navigate this challenge, but in as much as you're trying to compromise, the supremacy of the constitution is highly, highly paramount,
Mm,
and not to set a bad precedent for future leadership of NANS-Ghana to give any excuse at all about elongation of office. And this is not a secret. I know other chapters of NANS in the world. We have NANS Turkey, we have NANS Philippines, we have NANS here and there, and including the parent NANS in Nigeria are facing all kinds of challenges. But one of the most significant challenge that some of these people have been facing over the past 10, 20 years is the issue of elongation of tenure, even when there was no COVID-19. You
mm,
just see the executive council headed by the president decided to just hand over anytime they want to. But this has not been happening in NANS-Ghana. We have a culture of handing over by June. So even though there is COVID-19, it is still within our common sense and within our leadership capability to be able to find a compromise that would not abuse the constitution and at the same
mm,
time set a perfect precedence for this future leadership of the union.
mm. Interesting. So, from what I get from what you're saying, you are trying to be careful of precedence and try to do the right thing regardless of the situation, so that tomorrow that will be a better reference for other leadership. If I get you in summary.
And yes, yes, yes. And it's just extremely necessary for us to do that because, like I said, we have to first protect the integrity of the constitution and also set
Okay.
a perfect example for future leadership. That is the most important thing. So
All right.
forever, I would say no leadership of NANS has
Mm,
an excuse to spend beyond 12 months in office at all.
mm. All right. I really want to give you thumbs up for that. That goes a lot to say about your kind of leadership. And truly and truly tomorrow that this will set a good precedence for other leadership. But my worry on the transition now is, what if after 6 months we still don't see a headway with COVID, and we still cannot have people gather and do the delegate election? How did the General Assembly choose to resolve after 6 months if we still cannot gather for an election?
All right. If you I spoke to you about give me a minute. I spoke to you about the resolution that was adopted. They were given a
Mm-hmm.
mandate. The transition committee was given a mandate for 90 days to
Okay.
be in charge of the affairs of the union and organize election in 90 days. And according to what you said, what if in 90 days there is no what is election is still not permissible? What do we
Mm-hmm.
do? If the same people you know, like I said, the constitution does not see COVID-19 coming.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a matter of necessity to sit down to say that, okay, we are the leaders of the union. How do we take the union forward? How do we protect this? How do we protect that? Because what is the union meant for? Integrity, the welfare of the Nigerian student? Simple. So how do we protect all these things? How do we make sure that there is no leadership vacuum? So as is a matter of necessity, we still have to sit down in 90 days. Those who are in charge, the member unions, the campus leaders still have to sit down again. Okay, yeah, this is 90 days or before 90 days. Is it still possible to hold election? Let's go ahead. Is it not possible? God forbid. They still sit down. So we'll be making a decision from day one. The way we made this same decision, they will still have to sit down and agree on whatever means, and that is subject to the leadership that is there right now. And I just, you know, I've been doing something for I would say for some couple of months now. One of the leaders, we celebrated some of our leaders recently. One of the leaders, I think two of them told me that this is the first time I would say in NANS-Ghana that we released the constitution. I mean, the constitution was reviewed and there was no negative feedback. Anytime
Mm.
there's a constitutional review, there is fight from the right and the left. And I said
I can confirm
there
that
cannot be
for
negative
free.
feedback. You know why? Because yes, I said there cannot be negative. There cannot be negative feedback except for malicious reasons. You know why?
Mm.
The reason is because it is not written by the president or by the leadership of the union only.
Mm-hmm.
We allow the member union to decide who represent them in this, who represent them in that. They were all involved from day one to day two to day three, from the beginning of the process to the end of the process. So when it was released to them, there was no surprises in the document. So there is no need for negative feedback. So, and the way we make decision from the beginning, that's the way we still continue. And we sat down again last week. We still propose things to them. Everybody still bring in their own comments. They try to analyze whatever possibility we have, whatever options we have, and they accepted this. They adopted this, and they signed and give it back. So the same people will still sit down again in the next couple of weeks to say, okay, Mr. Chairman, can we go ahead? Let's go ahead. If we can't, so it's about the union, it's about the member union, it's about the student, leading the student. But the leaders actually they are clear on what to do. The mandate is clear in that adoption. Thank you, sir.
All right. Great.
In the resolution,
Great. I like the sound of that. And for those watching, I can confirm what you said for free. This is the first time I am hearing there's a constitutional review, and there has not been any fight. I know during our days and the days before us, it has always ended in a lot of struggle, a lot of fights. Who said this? Who did not say this? And then there and there, Senate meeting
yes.
becomes an explosion, and everybody goes home. But I really want to commend you again for that. So before I move to my next question, I want to ask the method the national executive have adopted with the General Assembly. How do you plan to pass this onto the schools and their own leadership? Because I also know that they will also be facing the same issue of transition. Because I know even with the universities, the president and the executive are supposed to spend 1 year in office. Are they adopting directly the same approach the national body is doing?
I wouldn't say they're adopting it the way the national leadership is doing it. And we did that because it's a matter of necessity, and our assignment quite differs. Most of the local campuses right now will be shut down by the ending of this month. In fact, the month has actually ended, and they will be on break for the next 2-3 months regular. So most of them, so the challenges that confront us as national leadership is not the same like them. Let me tell you something. Okay, for instance, the issue of evacuation. Local campus leaders are not really involved because you cannot engage these big organizations, all the high commissions or some of these airlines as just NSA president of any campus. But we are engaging these people as a national leadership of the union. So we are the one taking up the responsibility of their students as at this moment. So there is not too much work to do. They are not even on campus. In fact, a lot of them are in Nigeria right now. That's why they have to join the meeting virtually. So they don't really have too many responsibility right now for them to kind of adopt that. But why not? Any one of them wants to adopt the same thing. That is why we say we lead and people follow, because we are the national leadership and we need to show them how things should be done. And if any one of them wants to embrace that, why not? Why not? They can also do the same thing, but it is subject to them. All we care
Okay.
about is order and law and order in their own campuses, but we don't really tell them what to do. But if they need help, if they need anything, they will always reach out to the national leadership.
All right, great. I believe some of them will be watching, and this information you have passed will be very important to them. All right. Once again, viewers, if you're watching, you can drop your comments for the NAS president, especially on the issue of transition, and any information you would like to get from the leadership of NAS at this crucial time. This is why we're having this conversation today, and I'll be happy to ask the president some of your questions. So please feel free to ask your questions. So, Mr. President, my next question is, you came in by this time last year when I would describe the union to be in some form of
Yes.
disarray. I know when the former president handed over things to you, NANS-Ghana was somehow not in order. I may not have the right information what the issues were and what the problem were, but I know he faced a lot of challenges. And first, I want to commend him for handling a lot of things the way he did. But you came in at that time to the leadership of NAS when it indeed needed leadership. So, but it's been 12 years. It's been 12 months now. Can you share with us the journey so far? What has been your challenges and what has been your successes and what you look forward to after now? But just the journey so far as president of NAS-Ghana, how has it been for you? Share with us.
Okay, sharply. I would commend my predecessor. I think he organized one of the best congress ever in the history of NANS-Ghana. I think since last year, a lot of good things have been happening with regards to the leadership of NANS-Ghana, starting from that congress. No, it was rancor free, it was violence free, and immediately we started working. And the first thing we did was that part of my campaign, I campaigned on three things. I said capacity, collegiality, and character. And I said, my campaign message was clear. I said, taking the union back to campus. Because when I was on my own campus before I came to NANS-Ghana, I can count how many times I've seen NANS on my campus. And I'm not sure if I can count them twice. So, and I have several other colleagues in other campuses like that does not even understand what NANS stands for anymore. And some of them will tell you that the last time we feel this leadership was so years ago, so months ago, time ago. And I realized that there was this disconnect between the national leadership and the campus. I know the Nigerian ego thing. Sometimes when the mountain does not come to Mohammed have to go to the mountain. But there can't be ego from the local campus to who are you leading if you are disconnecting yourself from the campus. So I saw that problem and I said, so I crafted my campaign message, we need to take the union back to campus. The union is meant for students and we need to start solving students' problem. We need to start doing things back on campuses. So that was the first thing we started. So immediately I was elected. I think it was this time as well. And I said, we do not have any kind of presence. Like our physical presence has diminished and our virtual presence as well, which what we used to have was website. How come we don't have a website? So I said the first thing we must do within the first 2 weeks was to get a website. So we got our website, we rebranded everything. I got an official email for all my team members. I also got an official email because the way you brand yourself shows the way organizations kind of perceive you.
Exactly.
So we rebranded a lot of things and we started visiting campuses in and outside Accra. It's kind of made our presence know that this is the leadership of NANS. This is what we are here for. So school management started knowing us and we started making our presence in the media as well. I started having media chats on TV, media chats on radio, and several other places like that. So the first 1-2 months was like creating a presence. Okay. So the third month, I went to Abuja, to meet some of the agencies in Abuja that are kind of, I'll call them stakeholders with regards to some of our adventure here, like NYSC, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ghana High Commission, some of the people that we need to work with to be able to kind of run an effective administration, you understand? And those movements then, those travel actually, they are still paying off to today because we created a very vibrant relation with the NYSC that when any information wants to go out, NYSC send it to me personally. Ghana High Commission calls me personally almost every month to check on anything we need. Ministry of Education, we don't need to go there anymore. So we created some of these relations that actually works. I went to SRCs in different campuses to let them know that, okay, if there's anything on the campus, please, this is the first people to call. So those were the things we do. And Gradually, after one after the other, ideas started coming. Let us do. We did independence. Ideas started coming. We realized that okay, towards the ending of the year, I think we need to also acknowledge some of our best students doing well in this country. So we created an award citation night like that for them. Another thing that has also kind of I've seen as a challenge to the union, which some of the former leaders shared with me as part of their grievances, was the fact that they've not been able to formalize some of our unions, some of our patrons. So our patrons have just been acting, they've just been, doing their own, in just out of, I would say, out of their own
Their
benevolence.
benevolence. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
their own benevolence. They've not
I
really
share
been
that
formalized.
sentiment too. Mm.
Yes, they've not been formalized. So we created a general assembly, and one thing I tried to do as early as possible was to create a structure. I'm not afraid of systems. I like to work with systems for accountability's sake. And I hope every future president of NANS-Ghana will do that, because we've had these, cases whereby people inaugurate General Assembly in March, in February, when your administrations are almost over. But we try to do that as early as possible. We first, executive started working. After 3 months, we said there must be a General Assembly to keep us accountable, and there must be a Judicial Council, that can keep interpreting the Constitution for us. So we did that, and the same General Assembly, we formalized our patrons, and that December, we inaugurated the patrons. Is inauguration the right word? And also we kind of acknowledge some of these students, because that last year we had a few Nigerian students who were valedictorian in their
President, sorry
country.
for me to butt in. When you say you formalize the patrons, what do you mean for those watching? So it is clear, formalize the patrons.
All right.
What does that mean?
All right, we have several individuals who have been, supporting NANS over the years, and some of them some of them have been doing it just for the love of Nigerian students. So we as a leadership, we came together with some of these lists, and we streamlined the list to some few names, and we presented those names. We presented the names to the student leaders, because General Assembly, you see delegates from different schools came in there, registered delegates, they came in there, their campus leaders was there. So we presented some of these names to them. We read the profile to the students. We gave them some time for them to be able to do their own research about these individuals, for them to vote. So individually, the students voted. Do you want this person? So it has been a democratic process from day one. Do you want this person to be the patron of NANS, so person, Mr. Wisdom XXX? Do you want him? No. Please let us vote. The majority votes. If they vote yes, the person is accepted as a patron of NANS. If they vote no, the person is rejected. That was how we formalized all of them. And we actually sent a letter. We nominated some of these patrons. All of them returned the letter. All of them also replied the letter. All of them replied the letter. And after replying the letter, we proposed it to the GA, which is the General Assembly. And after that, we formalized it. We also sent a letter of congratulations to some of these patrons. And after that, but even during, you see, the General Assembly, are you there?
I'm with you. I'm with you. Go on,
I said it's the congregation of all student leaders and their delegates from different institutions. Yes, but for you to be able to formalize patrons,
that used to be what we call the Congress. Is that correct?
No, you see, General Assembly happens like 2 to 3 times in a single administration, like in a year. You have it like twice to 3 times. You understand? In a year. But you can only formalize patron in Congress. Congress is like once in a year. But the Constitution also provided an opportunity for emergency Congress. The Constitution provided an opportunity for what? Emergency Congress in the same year, as long as you have your quorum there. So we proposed an emergency Congress. There was a vote. The students accepted. So the Congress chairman emerged. So we went to Congress to do all those things. It was in the Congress, in the emergency Congress, which was like a short session before we went back to the General Assembly.
All right.
So I think that we released the communique that was around October last year.
Okay, let's move on to some of other things you must have done. You built a better working relationship with stakeholders that included, the Ministry of Education, NYSC, and other stakeholders in Nigeria. And then you move on to form the structure for NANS-Ghana, make formally the General Assembly, for other decisions, formalize the patrons of the union, did a website for the union. Well, what other things did you also do? Because I see you started having close relationship with other unions in Ghana, such as the PUSAC, the NUGS. I don't hear a lot about USAC again. I'm not sure USAC still works, but maybe you confirm that. But you had close relationship
You
with these
said
people.
yeah.
So how
Yes,
were you
sir.
able to achieve this? Because I know for a long time, NAS and NUGS, they haven't really worked better together and have this close relationship for many years. But I see you have been able to break that yoke, or if I will call it yoke. So how did you do that?
I say I think I realized early that there is no matter how tough you are, no matter how brilliant you are, how intelligent you are, you cannot work in isolation. I know I have a
Mm,
very good team, but can we work in isolation? No. And if we want to serve students, we must be ready to work with other students' union. That is the reality. So,
mm,
and in order to do that, they would not just open up to you because you are NANS. No. Sometimes the union is there as a platform, but the individuals behind it is the one that makes the union work. So I had to, with my own, by my own, out to him, over lunch, have this discussion. This is my plan for Nigerian students. This is my plan for this and that. I want us to work together. Some of them were skeptical at first, but when they started observing what the union does as well, and I told you we rebranded the union in a way, and they started seeing that okay, we started meeting organization leaders, diplomats. I started appearing on events as the leader of the union. Some of them does not really have any choice than to just open up. And
okay.
after opening up, I did not abuse that relationship. I kept the respect of the union. I kept their own respect as well. They need me for something, I appear. I need them for something, I appear. Not just PUSAG, I also there as well. The largest, I would say the biggest student union event in Ghana, which was organized by ASU last in November. I spoke at that event. So, in fact, part of the panel, I was only undergraduate student on that panel with the Controller General of Immigration and the rest there on that panel. So we kept our relationship with ASU, we kept our relationship with NUCS, we kept our relationship with PUSAG, GAPS, and the rest, and the other SRCs. So I knew from the start that we cannot achieve some of the things we needed to achieve just as NANS in isolation. We must work with other union, and out of our deliberate effort, this meet, that, we're able to kind of achieve some of these things that the relationship that we're enjoying right now. I could call a lot of them my personal friends now, not just the former NUCS president, the current one, Jihad himself, the PUSAC president, the GAPS
Mm,
leaders, SRC presidents in their own campuses, So that's what we've been
mm.
able to do about that.
Wow, 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 wow. Interesting. I mean, I'm a fan of the Nukes president. He used to be at USAC 4 years ago while I was at PUSAC at the PUSAC Senate. So I know him very well. He's a very
Okay.
nice and a good friend. So I was really happy when I saw both of you have, both unions working under him, have been able to cement your relationship together. So, but another thing I want to really want you to address is, there is always a question mark between the Ghana and Nigeria relationship, especially when it comes to students. There's always an issue there all the time. The relationship doesn't really go smoothly, and most times there's always complaint from Nigerian students that Ghana students did this or Ghanaians do this and all of that. How were you able to manage the Nigerian student and the Ghana relationship as a NAS Ghana president? What did you do differently?
Can you still hear me now?
I can hear you. Did you hear the question?
All right. All right. When in regards to the relationship, I would say it depends on where you're looking at it from. It depends on the perspective you are looking at the relationship thing. When it comes to the probably student to student or people to people or management to students, I think we are respected enough. Uh, I don't want. I want to ask if you are referring to the recent incident that happened with the Nigeria High
No,
Commission
no, no,
building.
no. I'm not. I'm not. I'm
We
not.
issued a
I'm not.
statement with regards to that, and we condemned it.
I'm not. I'm not referring to that. We'll come to that yet. But I'm just speaking generally because as a
Yeah,
one-time
your volume
student,
is low here. That's why.
it might be from
Yeah,
your phone.
your volume is quite low here.
It might be
Okay.
from your. It might be from your phone. I'm just referring to, as a one-time student in Ghana. If you can hear me, there has always been this issue on the relationship between Nigerian students and Ghanaians. And I know many NAS presidents had that issue to battle with, always settling police matters, rent matters.
Okay.
The
Okay. The social
students
aspect of it, right?
exactly,
All right.
exactly. So how were you
Okay.
able to manage this? What did you do differently? Because I'm not sure I heard a lot about some of these issues under your leadership, or maybe because we don't get more information from Ghana again. So, but how did you handle these issues differently as a
Yeah,
president?
I would say I think the previous leadership, 3, 4, 5 last leaders before me, kind of established, I would say, good relation with the police that even gets to the level that when there is any issue at all that has to do with arrest, they know whom to call, they know what to call. So some of them have, I think the last Kadi Abubakar was able to do that. Katagu Mohammed was able to do that. Dominic was able to do that. Uh, you know, they were able to kind of establish proper relation with the police force that even when there are issues at all, we have a channel of kind of dealing with it before the thing becomes public outrage and all other issues like that. But I think generally too as well, I did not really have so many, all these regular arrests here and there, simply because I think the students who are aware of the situation around them right now, they know that it's not really the best, and they know that they have to behave. And one thing that we do when we go to any campus is that, you know what, just your parents send you here to study, not for you to come and cause trouble. Do not cause trouble at anybody's expense. So, and a lot of them are changing. And if you want to check as well, I think some of the kind of students that were in this country during your time are not the same as some of the ones that are here right now. So, the money is not coming like it used to. I know you said that you had a lot of money and things like that. So,
I mean,
so the
I
money is
mean,
not more coming as it used to, and a lot
it
of things are
was
just.
it was something else. While at school then, I know how many times we had to go to the police station to bail students. And it was crazy. I know
Yes, yes.
Kayode is watching now, and
Yes.
Kayode can really strongly say some few comments as regards this. And I wish some people like Alex Chigozie, which was my my NSA president as at that time, can also give some comments. In fact, it was a terrible situation, back then. But like you said, the kind of students we had then and what we have now are two different kind of people. So because I've been looking, you really don't have some of these issues again. I don't hear of them a lot. So I just wanted to know out of curiosity if you did any magic, if there was any magic you performed to make all the wahala go away. All right. We lost him there. He'll get back on shortly. I've been chatting with the NANS-Ghana president, Adebayo Samuel Ogunkoya. He officially leaves office today as NANS-Ghana president, and all affairs will be handled by the transition committee. He's back on, so he's giving us some more insights. All right, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So moving from that, before I ask another very important
Yeah,
question, but I want to
that
go on.
Yeah, that was, we are evacuating students. We are planning on the evacuation process. Some of them here that needs to go back home, and some of them in Nigeria that need to come back into this country. So that call is from the Ghana Commission in Abuja. So I just told them that I will call them back immediately. So
All right, great. Before we go to that aspect,
so
that's
it
a
was the
very
call that disrupted
important.
the internet.
Yeah, that's a very important conversation we'll have shortly. But before I go to that, I want to ask you, Tell us about your relationship with the Nigeria embassy in Ghana. I mean, over the years, it's been something else. I know it's not something that goes down well with me a lot, but the relationship has not been a bit smooth. I know Kayode did so well during his time to try and cement that relationship, and he did a lot of work. But I want to ask you, what is your relationship now with the Nigerian embassy in Ghana, and if you can tell us what has been happening.
Thank you, sir. You see, uh, like you said, like you just explained, I did not meet a cordial relationship when it comes to NANS-Ghana and the embassy. And I inherited that. I would say, will I call it animosity? I can't call it animosity because it's our high commission. But I inherited that, that uncomfortability that just, I don't know whatever word to use in that thing, but you understand what I'm talking about.
I get
And
you.
it has been a serious challenge because you want to do this, and they are like, this is their own direction. You want to go right, they say this is their own left is their own direction. But one thing that I've been telling them over the past few months, which there is a place I'm going right now. I mean, there's a particular statement I would make. One thing I've been telling them is that, sir and mans, student leaders like myself, see, forget everything I've achieved in the last 1 year, or my team have done in the last 1 year. Student leaders are students. They are called students. Myself, there are things I would do probably even on air or anywhere. Sometimes I'll be like, criticism will come in a way and I'll be like, listen, we are student leaders. I don't embrace mediocrity, fine. But in as much as you want to criticize student leaders, you want to criticize students, and there should have an element of leniency in it. They are not traders union. They are not professional body. They are student leaders, being led by undergraduates. So these people have not even finished university. But when you now put them on a scale, or you judge them by standard of professionals or a group of lawyers, group of doctors, then we are going to have problem. So I've been engaging them on the fact that, sir, we are your children. We are your children, sir. You need to deal with us like students that we are. And one thing that I told them also as well, like the High Commission must know its own boundary, so that we have a very fruitful relationship. The High Commission must define its own boundary. The student must know what, the High Commission is here for us. So the High Commission must define its own boundary. The student must also know what they need, what they can expect. They must also be able to define their own expectation. Because I know that has been a problem. Over the years, sometimes we expect too much from the High Commission, or the High Commission also expect too much of themselves. So they don't know their boundary, and we also don't know what to expect. We also expect too much from the High Commission. So when we are disappointed, we lash out to them. I mean, we criticize them. They too, when they want to extend beyond their limits, when we resist, they also see us as being disrespectful. No, it is not that way. So we've been able to engage, we've been engaging behind the closed doors, here and that, do this and that. And they've also been watching. They've been watching. Yesterday, I was there yesterday with my vice president, who is now the current chairman of the Transition Committee. And they made a lot of statements. They've been watching closely, they've been watching here and there, and they've agreed that truly, Nigerian students can conduct their affair independently, without chaos, and make progress as a team. So I would say, when I emerged last year, the door of the embassy was not even open to us. I mean, the door of the embassy, not meeting, the door of the gate of the embassy was not open to me as a leader of Nigerian students. But yesterday, when I was living there yesterday, and not just pictures, we had, all kinds of competitions yesterday. They embraced us as their children, they embraced us as the leaders of Nigerian students. And they've been working with us with regards to this evacuation. We keep updating them every day. I would define it right now. I wouldn't, when it comes to the embassy, my position on the ground when it comes to the embassy. But I would define it right now as being perfect right now, currently. And that is what is expected. Nigeria High Commission and NANS should not be, I wouldn't say fighting. We can't fight Nigeria High Commission, but we should have a proper relationship. You know why? We are the one on ground. We are the one that have accurate information. I know you guys have your way of, they have their way of getting their own information, but we are the one on ground. We are the one that can supply you proper information. We are the one that can behave. We are the one that can give you problem. So all these things, I think they've realized that, and they've also watched, according to them, and they've seen that, okay, if this people can be organized for this long, I think they've just probably have not done some things right. And we should we also acknowledge our own fault as well, and we also approach them
So
respectfully, and that is
right
the that
now, the relationship is at a level where it is perfect and great, and there's still room for improvement. But we have moved from that low point we used to be to a point where it can be built on for future purpose, and it will be very useful
yes.
to the Nigerian student community.
Yes, please. Early last week, after the demolition of the embassy of the High Commission residence,
Yes.
meetings were called. Stakeholders meetings was called. I was acknowledged there as a Nigerian student leader. There was another
Wow.
high-level meeting that they had only less than 10 individuals in this country. I was also in that meeting as well. So
Wow.
I mean, there is still room for improvement, but we've really gone beyond that previous one. That very low level we used to be.
I mean,
But we
I
can
mean,
always improve.
Adebayo, again, I really must commend you for fixing that relationship. Like I said in the beginning, during this interview, I said you came in at a point where NANS-Ghana really and truly needed a leadership. And from what you're saying, I really must commend your work you and your team have done so far. So, but now talk to us about the evacuation. I understand that with the help of the embassy, still working on this relationship you have just mentioned now, there are works underground going on how to get Nigerian students stranded in Ghana back to Nigeria, and how to get Nigerian students in Nigeria back to Ghana, especially final year students, to conclude their exams. Can you throw more light on this for those of our viewers that are watching, and vital information that they would like to hear from you?
All right, so to start with, the Nigerian students here, we have them in different categories. Some of them are done with their semester. Some of them, I would say stranded, because why do I use the word stranded? Is that, when you pay, some of them live in private hostels, and the accommodation limit kind of ends this month. This month is today's 30th. So some of them might be stranded starting from tomorrow. So they need to go back home. And we have some categories of students who are not really studying in Ghana, but they came for an excursion, but then the presidential lockdown came in. So they reached out to us that they want to go back home. So we've collected all these things, and we are processing them through the Nigerian embassy here, the Nigerian High Commission here. And also we have another category of evacuation, which is the final year student. They are in Nigeria. They left before the lockdown, and now they've been asked to come back into the country to write their exams. The President Nana Akufo-Addo, gave a waiver that final year students can come back into this country to write their exams. So we are also coordinating with the Ghana High Commission. We are coordinating with the Ghana High Commission in Abuja to make that happen as well. So it is now, we are liaising with some of the two high commissions. We are working with the High Commission here to send Nigerians back to Nigeria, and we're working with the Ghana High Commission to send Nigerians in Nigeria back to Ghana. That's how we've been doing some of this.
When is there a timeline for this? When would this be happening? Is there a date yet? How would the process go? How will anybody? Is there a timeline, and how can people get involved with this? Or do you have all the names of students
we made an announcement. We made an announcement on our platform, Facebook, WhatsApp. We sent it to some of the campus leaders. Every SRC president in this country, over 40 of them received it from us to share with their students. So what we asked them to do, we asked them to register via our official email, secretariat@nansghana.org. A lot of them registered, those who want to go back home. And also the ones that are in Nigeria also want to come back here. So they are registered with us, and they give us their details. So we get a list and send it to via some of these the two embassies. And you say, when is it happening? The first batch of the Nigerians that are supposed to go back to Nigeria will be happening this week, pending some other few things like testing and other things. So a lot of what is required of us has been done, like getting the transportation means, getting some. The embassies are working on the clearance.
Will it be by road or by air?
The ones going here will be by road. The Nigeria Commission will clear Benin and Togo. But the ones in that place, because of the time, the ones here, they need to go back home as well, but not as that kind of priority as the ones in Nigeria. The ones in Nigeria need to go back to write exams. So we are working We are also working with Nigerian government directly to for the air transport, for the road transport, for the road means, because of some of the people cannot afford the air, because the air travel is kind of expensive at this period. In fact, right now we have to charter an airline, a full plane for them, for some of the students there, but we leave them to kind of do some other details. By we are not paying for anybody, but we are just liaising. We are just in between the airlines and the students. We've asked the student to consider whatever options we have. But right now we are working with the Ghana Commission to clear the airline means for us so that we can meet the timeline. But we're also working with the Nigerian government directly in that place there in Nigeria so that they can also clear the road. If you can also clear the road for us, fine. So we are using
Okay.
several other means just to get them back here as early as possible. But naturally, I think the air travel will be faster. But who knows, if the clearance is slower and Nigeria can clear the road, why not? But we are doing it as early as possible. And the first batch of the ones here that will go this week, and also the ones in Nigeria will also move by the ending of this week as well.
Oh, impressive. I also cannot fail to recognize that some of these things have huge financial implication. I can hear that in some of the things you have been mentioning. So, does it look like the embassy will bear any part of the cost, or all of the cost will be on the students and their family, or is Nigerian government in any way bearing any part of the cost, especially for the air travel in any way? The financial implication, how are you managing that?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
That
I
no,
know
in fact, that's
NANS does
one
not
of the
have all those
reasons.
money.
Yes, in fact, yeah. So that's one of the reasons we reached out to the Nigerian government, because Nigerian government will be far more lenient with their own people.
Mm.
Especially Nigerian government can even sponsor it if that's possible. But we've been trying to talk to them regarding some of these conditions there. But the current means right now is the air travel, and the Ghana High Commission is not paying for these people. They are not even they are not the one even in charge of the monetary and negotiation for the students. In fact, part of the memo says that the evacuees are fully responsible for negotiations of the transport means, the
Mm.
transport fare and everything like that. So it was NANS and some of their representatives that got the airline, and it is these people will leave it to these people to negotiate how much they are going to pay amongst themselves. How they are going to share it. All we are doing for them is clearance here, clearance there. You need to talk to an organization.
Mm.
We talk to them. So NANS is not really involved in the monetary aspect. But if the arrangement we are doing with the Nigerian government works, I think it will relieve them a lot financially. But right
Okay.
now, with the Ghana High Commission, the students are absolutely responsible for the financial aspect of it.
Okay. Are you in touch with the Nigerian diaspora community headed by this lady? What's her name? Um,
Madam
I
Abike,
can't.
Madam
Who?
Abike Dabiri,
Yeah, Abike Dabiri. Are you in touch
Madam
with her
Abike.
commission? Yes. Are you in touch with her?
Yes. I was in. I'm in touch with her. We visited them too last year. My team we visited them last year. So since
Mm.
then we've created that relation with them. But at this period, I think we are just dealing with some of the most relevant organizations or institutions at this period. But we're in touch with them. We are updating them there.
All right, President, this is a very good move by you and your team. Again, I want to commend you
Thank you.
highly for that. Students are watching. I know this will come at a huge excitement for them. I mean, I know how this feels like as a one-time student in Ghana. Also, in a time like this, it will be devastating, and frustrating. And then if there's a way for me to return home with such measures you and your team are trying to put in place, I think it will come at so much excitement for me if I was a Nigerian student. So if you're watching, please, if you have not registered to be part of the evacuees, you can send an email to secretariat at NANS-Ghana .org, right? If I'm correct, Mr. President?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. You are.
All right.
You're correct.
So we have some few minutes, but I have another question for you. I mean, all of the works you
All
have
right, sir.
been doing, all of the works you have been doing so far,
Okay.
the traveling here and there, and some of the things you have been able to work on. I know I used to sit at the Senate some time ago, and I am privy to funding received by NAS Ghana, especially. I know the association has not been doing so well with funding, and there's always issue of how do we collect dues from students, how do we make sure the union has money to run all of the travels you have done, all the meetings and everything. My question boils down now to how have you been doing with funding for the association?
Okay, thank you, sir. To start with, I don't know if every president meets zero balance in accounts, but for me, I met zero. So it was a shocker because I'm like, so how do we start? And we just had to, like, myself and my team, everybody started putting our own resources together to solve every problem we need to solve first. Even our
Personal
travel to
personal
Nigeria,
resources.
personal resources together. Then, my some of my team members says that, President, we need to make people pay. I say yes, students will pay, but you have to be relevant first. You don't pay to a student that have not seen you in his campus before, in his or her campus before. You don't tell a student who have not seen you at all, who doesn't even understand that NANS exists, to pay you. No. We must show them that we are relevant. We must show them that we must display the capacity to solve their problem. We must confirm to them that we are representing them well.
Hmm.
If we are able to do this, our administration might not enjoy the benefits, but I'm sure subsequent ones will enjoy it. So let us put our resources together and keep doing our work. And as time goes on as well, when we started working here and there, we started getting attentions. Organizations started coming. I would like to do this with you. Would like to do that with you. Some of the individuals who have disassociated themselves from NANS started coming back and support here and there, no matter how little. Even if the thing buys airtime, even if it fixes your transport fare, it is still better than nothing. So we started bringing the interest of individuals back, and during the course of the administration as well, we signed an MOU with an organization that helps us with money exchange for students. Instead of students being duped by third party, we signed an exchange where we signed an MOU with them
Hmm.
that MOU, there's some little cash involved at first, and subsequent leadership will keep getting some remunerations on it as well. So just to be able to, whatever, no matter how small, to be able to find a source of income for the union, so that the responsibility will not solely be on the leaders who are also students as well. So, and also coupled with the help of the patrons, some of them are doing whatever in their own capacity, especially when program is coming in their own little way. They put in their own little. So even when we had to add as a leader, as the leaders of the union, it is not as hefty as it used to be, or as uncomfortable as it used to be. So at first it was extremely difficult, but as time goes on, the union started attracting fund little, and also ANC came in. You saw that when we announced the COVID-19 emergency relief fund. Initially, it would have been just NANS president moving around looking for students who have not eaten since morning, but ANC put in something little that we announced. NIDU also came in to put in something little. So we started gaining the respect to some of these organizations, and I hope it can be sustained. And in the future, in a very, 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 very near future, we can tell some of these campus leaders to pay dues, and they would pay because they know
Hmm.
that the union is for them. So that's how it works.
I know when I used to be at the Senate, when the issue of dues comes up, it becomes a rowdy session for the Senate, and the Senate president begins to struggle. I think that was either a Canem or Tosin Badebo, and it becomes a struggle with the Senate. Yeah, and all of that. But that's a good one. So right now, if you're leaving office, do we have a bank account, and probably how much are you leaving for the union?
Okay. We have a customized mobile money account. Like almost every fund that comes in that mobile money account. And I
Okay.
wouldn't divulge how much I'm leaving for the union publicly here, but the team is aware of it. The current leadership
Okay.
are aware of it, so that people will start looking for NANS and start writing proposals to NANS. So,
Okay.
but the student body,
Mhm.
irrespective of how much, whether we have 100 CDs or $100. The student body, and I think well-to-do individuals should not really wait for events, should not wait for COVID-19 emergency relief fund to be able to
Mm,
support and donate to student union. If you think
mm,
you want to help, you are a patriotic Nigerian, you are a former leader of NANS, somebody like
mm,
you, a former comrade in this place. Once in a while, you just call the leaders, call the treasurer, donate into the account of the union. We would appreciate it. These are some of the from some of our former leaders. Yes, sir.
I mean, with how organized the association is now, a lot of
Yes, sir.
former comrades and former leaders, I'm sure they will be very excited to do these donations because the association is now very organized, and everybody will be sure that whatever money comes into the union right now will be used appropriately. I mean, NANS-Ghana has
Yes,
raised a league of comrades and very well-to-do young people across the world today that
yes,
will be very happy to do that donation. But the most important
yes.
thing right now is you met it at zero balance, but you are not leaving it at zero balance. I mean,
At all, I'm not giving that any.
that is a very important
And
part of
I,
it.
I will add this one thing that kind of relieved me, and when I look back, I'm just happy is because we've been able to do a lot of things this year, even without
Mm,
having to beg any individual, without having to go to anybody. The need just
mm,
come, or there's an emergency case in any campus. It's just a call to the treasurer. It's just a call to this person. It's just a call to the team, and the team will say, let's fix this thing, let's fix that thing from the NANS account.
mm.
So I hope this kind of organization continues. I mean, being organized. That's what I mean by that. I hope this kind of independence also continues so that
All
we
right.
can have an effective union and people can move forward. Yes, sir.
Okay. We have 5 minutes, but I have two questions to ask you. One
All right,
question
sir.
is, I know during our time, we worry with the fact that the activities of NAS circled around the schools in Accra. And if I can remember vividly, when Kayode came into office, it was one of the charge we gave him at Congress to make sure that the activities of NAS was expanded to other regions in Ghana. It is not an Accra association; it's a national body, and every other angle of Ghana should be part
Yes,
of
sir.
the activities of NAS. How
Yes, sir.
how
Yes, sir.
how have you? I know he did a lot to a certain point, and other presidents have been able to do one or two things. But I want to ask you
As well.
specifically, what have you done in this area? And just in 1 minute, how many schools do we have? Can NAS be proud of now that we have presence in and we are known for in the whole of Ghana?
In the list with me right now, I think I have 41. Just the one I can remember. When you started
Okay,
the meeting, I started writing. Over
okay,
41. Over 40. We have 41, yeah, I'm still writing. And I would say,
okay.
with regards to the cities, my team have been to all kinds of some of these cities: Sunyani, Kumasi, Cape Coast,
Mm,
Akimoda, Koforidua. I've just mentioned like almost 5, 6 cities. So we have taken it out of the Accra thing. We've extended it to
mm,
different campuses. Traveled there to meet some of these students, made them know that, hey, we care about you. We are not just in Accra claiming to be your
mm,
leaders. We're in Winneba today to meet people in Winneba. We are in Koforidua tomorrow to meet people in Koforidua. We are in
mm,
Eastern region to meet the people in Akimoda. We are in Kumasi to meet the Kumasi people. We are in Sunyani to meet the
mm,
Sunyani people. So that is how
mm,
we've been able to connect. Because we said we are taking the union back to campus. The campuses are not just in
mm,
Accra. Campuses are
mm,
scattered in all parts of the country. So we've taken it back to
mm.
some of these campuses. And that is why when we call them, so they can all feel part of the union.
So, okay, 1 minute. How has the relationship been with the school management? Have you had any
Yes.
struggle with any of them at all?
At first there was, there's this thing about you people, or at first, I told you something when I first started, is the way you call yourself that people, whatever you call yourself, that's what people help you to call it. And
Mm,
perception is extremely important. We When we reach out to school management and they are hostile a bit, we reach out to their bosses. And when you see NANS when you see the NANS leader in the same office as the National Accreditation Board, in the same office with the National Accreditation Board director, in the same
mm,
office with an ambassador, in the same place with a minister, then those are the places that the institutions go to. Those are the people, the institutions, the school management begs for
mm,
letters. So if you see
mm,
us in that level, we will not write to you and you will deny us. You will not write to you
mm,
and you will start towards us. So that is how, when we engaged on school and they were hostile, we started engaging some of their leaders. And after doing that, they saw that we are operating in that level. They all had to calm down. So right now, there is no school we can't engage in this country. There is none. I just sent a letter to the Dean of Kumasi 2 days ago, and he acknowledged it, to the Dean of KNUST. So
mm.
without leaving this place, and they acknowledge our demand. So these are, University of Ghana is there. A lot of the schools like that are there. One of the schools even signed an MOU with me. You remember? with NANS-Ghana. So we were able to operate in that level, engage
Okay.
organizations directly. And one thing I want to mention so far is that over the course of
Mm,
1 year, thank God for that, we do not meet any of these organizations, probably in Nigeria or in Ghana, via anybody. It is NANS letterhead, NANS as NANS. So they
mm,
deal with us as NANS, they deal with us as NANS leadership, and that is
mm,
it. So we hope that we'll be able to continue at that level of respect, at that level of sanctity and respect up there.
mm.
So
All right. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done. I mean, you just keep exciting me with some of the things you have been saying, and I'm really happy to hear that. My own is I'm also very happy with how you keep communication with the community of Nigerian students using effectively Facebook, most especially to pass a lot of information. I mean, some of us have left the system a long time ago are still able to keep up with what is happening, because for me personally,
yeah,
I'm very interested. I'm always interested, and I'm happy to see all what you guys have achieved. So we wrap up the
and I
session here
want to
now.
thank all of you for that support. Yeah,
No, I can see a lot of comments from former comrades in the
okay.
comment section, from Zinami Esquire to Olukayode Abubakar, Amini, and every other person. I mean, everybody's excited with what you guys have been able to achieve. But Mr. President, now that you
Yes,
leave
sir.
the office today,
Yes, sir.
tomorrow you may no longer be the NAS president. But I want to ask
Yes, sir.
you, what is next for you for the future? We are very interested to know what is next for you.
All right.
1 minute, one
To
minute.
first, yes, let me first touch about the nouns thing. One thing that has made us a success as a team is because I'm not sure any other president of NANS have enjoyed that. I would say the 100% support of the former leaders, not just the president, different category. People like you, people like Clifford, people like Gibson, people like Zenami, people like Kayode, people like Dominic. When I call on the ones who are here, they respond. When I'm in Nigeria, when I call on the ones in Nigeria, they respond. So
Mm,
that has actually, helped us to achieve some of the things we've been able to do. And what is in the future for me, Adebayo? For me, before I joined us, you know me, you saw my you saw my long profile. I'm always involved. I like leadership. I like management consulting. As a student, I like to get involved with things, even when it doesn't pay me cash.
mm,
I want the things to pay me in knowledge and experience. So I'm always involved in things. I'm always teaching here and there. I'm always writing. So it's me going back to my office. I've always been in the field for the past 12 months. So I'll be going back to my office to eat a little bit. I would say, if you understand that way, to keep to build up a bit and launch out again, preferably in a corporate, society. But who knows what tomorrow holds? I've already been receiving emails since after that press conference yesterday. People want Adebayo here. They want Adebayo. I said Adebayo is still in Ghana right now.
super,
We are fully mentoring
superstar.
some of the ones who are. We are still mentoring some of the ones who are there, and I'm just in my corner, learning, still developing my
Mm,
capacity. I'm just a student
mm,
leader, and
mm.
I would also want to develop a better capacity to lead a larger organization and to be relevant for Nigeria as well. So that is what is in future for me, sir.
All right. Adebayo Samuel Ogunkoya, I want to thank you so much for having this time with me. I mean, this is such an impressive state of the union. The way you are living the union now, I want to assure you, you have left a great mark, and you have left a very big shoe for the next president to fill. And I hope and pray that whoever this person will be will build on this legacy, and the future will be bright
Yes.
for the association. I also want to recognize a comment from Apostle Newton Silas. He said Adebayo Samuel Ogunkoya have shown capacity and is left for the next administration to continue with the good work. I mean, this is the same thing that I'm saying. And well done, sir, for your comment. And we recognize you, and we appreciate you for staying with us for the show. I mean,
And
Adebayo, it's
thank
been
you to all of them, all of them, all of them.
yes, it's been a very interesting conversation, and I'm very happy to be here with you to chat. And I wish you all the very best for your next future endeavor. For me, I'll always be happy to work with you anytime. When I see people that are very hungry and passionate about leadership, they excite me a lot. And the future of Nigeria in itself needs people like you to step into a lot of shoes to get things right. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And at this point, we come to an end of the conversation.
Thank you so much for hosting me, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you. Bye, sir.
All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an interesting conversation with the NAS president, outgoing NAS president, Adebayo Samuel Ogunkoya. It speaks a lot about leadership. We don't hear much of this from NAS Nigeria and a lot of student association. But you see, I will always say leadership starts from stages like this, and we begin to know people who are here to shape a better society for the next generation. It's been a long time for NAS, and leadership right now is evolving for the association, and I'm very happy with even the relationship they can keep with the embassies and other unions and people and stakeholders in Ghana. For me, my name is Wisdom Chapp-Jumbo. This is the Hangout series, and I've been very excited to have this conversation. Join me later this weekend for more conversations as we continue to bring the issues to your forefront all the time. Until then, again, please have a good evening.